Welcome to Framework Fortune and welcome back Framework Fortune community. I'm your host Ben and we got our co-host H&H Trader Hal in the house tonight. Hal, how you doing?
Doing good, doing great. Rolling out of my red streak.
Well, that's good to hear. So it's time for the last rip where we take a look at some gainers on the day, recap any trades we took, and look for some trades for tomorrow. And we may have a very good play for tomorrow we're going to go over. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video. And also, while you're here, smash the like button. But let's dive into it. The SPY doing nothing again. I mean, it's kind of breaking out of that channel. But like you were just talking about before we started recording, it's pulled back to the channel in after hours. So it could easily just drop back into the channel.
It's a tricky one.
This has taken a very long time for the SPY to break up one way or another. The longer time this takes, the more likely this will probably drop. But on to the trades.
I traded DXYN. People were clowning me today about looking at DXYN to trade. I traded ACY, very low volume. People were clowning me about that one. But you know, the results are in. ACY was kind of like a nervous buy-in because I've seen it move the last couple of days, but you know, it always has really low volume, and everybody in the chat was like, oh my goodness, it has super low volume, I don't like it. But I've seen it the past 3 days.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We've been talking about it for the last 3 days, so it's not like it was anything new. It's been ripping.
So in this section where you got a bunch of green candles, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all those green candles, I was like, okay, there's a lot of indecision. I don't know which way it's gonna go. So it blasted up on that next candle right there.
This one
right there, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna need to see a pullback. It pulled back to this indecision right here, the next one, and after that candle I was ready to buy. So I bought a little bit and got a little $1.04 rip off of that right up there and sold real quick.
Yeah, that was a good sell. That was a good quick scalp. That was a true scalp play. Very nice. Yeah, you can see that resistance, that previous resistance was right there too. Or it ran into it. That's where it got held up. Yeah, very nice. This is one to still keep on watch, I would say. Even though it's not getting that much volume, it's moving dollars with little volume. If this does get millions in volume, then it's going to go crazy. So I think the potential's there to keep it on watch because it still has room. At this point, there's nothing ahead of it except for this 38.04 high back here. So it may not go straight to 40 tomorrow or anything like that, but maybe it may consolidate right around 30 before it breaks up. It's definitely one to keep on watch, but nice play there. FLGC first thing this morning. I traded this twice. So the first one was 30 shares, and it shot up to that resistance there, and I locked it out at $12.55, and I was up $56 in profit. Well, then it came back down here and held the 10 adaptive, so I jumped back in for 20 shares. It pushed back up, and on this candle, it looked like it was going to break, and then it came back down, so I had to get out and ended up giving $30 profit back. So I should have just left this one alone after locking that 50, but that's all right. They didn't have any news, but FLGC, this one got halted too right out the gate, but gave a lot of its gains back. Still one to keep on watch as it's been pushing up. And it doesn't really have any resistance besides natural resistance.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying to hold that the top of that red candle, that last daily red candle, is kind of like a support right there.
Yeah, that 1125-ish area, something like that.
Boy, they were clowning me this morning on this one. They're like, oh man, this thing ain't moving nowhere. But I went to do a contract. And after I was done with the contract, I flipped back over to this one, and this little pop was where I pretty much keep going over. This was in the afternoon, down there,
right here.
Okay, so so I saw this consolidation, that red candle pullback right there, that red candle. And I said, all right, if it can hold up, I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna enter 300 shares right here. And so it held up, and I entered 300 shares right there at the 324, 326 area, and got that pop.
Oh yeah, there's a nice little pop.
Oh yeah.
Just look at that, 110,000 in volume on that little pop.
That's all I needed.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good pop. It went from 325 up to 365, 40-cent pop. Yeah, very nice getting that on the stock with no volume. It got a million, 1.8 million for total for the day. But it did continue to climb and hold up.
It was the only stock on my scanner for a while today. And I was like, look, I'm sticking to my rules. I'm only trading what's on this scanner. And look what it got me.
Yeah, if this breaks 350 tomorrow, it could rip some more. Did you look at this daily chart at all?
Yeah, I looked at the daily chart, and the reason that I sold up there is because it hit their resistance.
Yeah. I get why that.
Just to take profit.
But I'm saying tomorrow, if it breaks that resistance, it's gonna run into
if it
4.
Wants to go, hey, I'll be here.
Yeah, that's one to keep on watch. It's possibly got some more in it left. It's above all EMAs now. I traded HUSN for a loss. This was such a stupid loss. It wasn't even the loss that was stupid. It was just my own stupidity. But no, I bought it at the bottom of this candle, right above 4 at 418, and then it ran right up here to like 437. But I kept waiting for it to break. It was consolidating in this big triangle pattern. And by this time, I started saying, this is taking way too long for this to break. I put a stop loss in under 4, but I only put it for 30 shares. And I didn't realize I did that. So, yeah. So, when it started dropping, I saw I got stopped out, and I came in to check it, and I was like, wait, why is my profit, my P&L day going down still? And I realized it, and it's like, oh, man, I still got 70 shares in this, so I had to sell the rest of it all the way down at 387.
Wow. Yeah. Me and you, your chart right there literally looks exactly like what I had on mine. I had spotted that exact same trend, and I traded this one twice. Both of them were red trade stop outs. See, it did that first drop. I wasn't trading it. We were just watching it.
Yeah.
It did this second little drop down. Okay, so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna let this thing consolidate around here. So it consolidated, came up green right there, and then started to consolidate again. I was like, okay, this thing looks kind of good. So I got in. I got in on not that first red candle, not the second one, but the third one, where it went up, it broke the resistance for like a couple of seconds, and then it came down. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, and I got stopped out 12 cents. I took 50 shares on both of the trades that I did on that, and I lost, I think, around 10 cents. So it wasn't big losses on that, like maybe whatever 10 cents on 50 shares is.
Yeah, it just wouldn't pop. It kept trying, but after I held it from way back here to here, I was like, man, this is getting weaker and weaker. Yeah. And then, here comes the guy I've been talking about nonstop that everybody wants me to shut up about, but Btbt all the way up to 1640 today. I added 10 more shares at 1337 right here when it started ripping. Had a little kind of U-shaped crossover. It started holding there, so I got in. And then it just climbed all day, so I'm still holding. I had 35 shares before this. I added 10 more to it today. Now I'm at 45.
This man just been collecting.
Yeah, I've been collecting, man. And Bitcoin was over 41,000 a day. Ethereum's still pushing up. I found out there was an Ethereum burn. So they burned a bunch of Ethereum tokens.
An Ethereum what?
An Ethereum burn where they destroy the coins. It's some part of the ecosystem, so the supply just dropped on Ethereum. So, and that's why it started going up more. We'll see if Bitcoin and Ethereum continue to push. So could Btbt. And then I did hop in BITF down here at 506, and then it ran all the way to 547. Took forever to make this run, and it just went sideways the rest of the day. So I'm still holding it because it just now got above all the EMAs. And at $5 was some tough resistance for it to get through. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't plan on holding this one as long as I did Btbt. I plan on locking Btbt out tomorrow, unless cryptos just go super crazy. But speaking of crypto stocks, H&H finally decided to hop on the crypto stock train and found this little sweet ticker here. ANY getting a pop in after hours, slowly climbed up all day. But now it is over all of this resistance at $4. So it has the opportunity to continue to climb because the only resistance ahead of it now is $4.50 and $5. It's looking really good with that buying coming in there, but the PR is insane. If you don't talk about that PR, you understand the technical side of a lot of what they're talking about and why this has a lot of potential.
So basically, let's just break it down to the easiest way to say it. First of all, their company has been buying up mining assets for pretty much since 2018. They started kind of collecting, and they've been collecting just mining assets after mining assets in different agreements. We were going through the PR, and we're reading down the little paragraph, and we're like, hold on. These people are getting so much computing power for mining. We're talking about like petahashes. We're talking about like exahashes, and these are like trillions of bits of data going through in a second. Like, y'all don't understand. Just go on dictionary.com or go on Google and just type in petahash or exahash or terahash and understand how much computing power these people are planning on receiving. That was kind of like the really big PR and why it made that move in the aftermarket. But we are going to definitely be hard watching it in the morning to see what other kind of news that it may get, because it definitely has a lot of potential to definitely bless a lot of people and curse a lot of shorts. So let's see.
Yeah, and there's some wording in this PR that's a little wonky, where they're basically like, we are going to do this agreement, but the agreement hasn't happened yet, and they're not obligated to fulfill the agreement. So something could go wrong with that PR. But if we look at it from a psychological standpoint, cryptos are running right now. Btbt and these other crypto stocks have been running hard. Now we have a crypto stock saying that they're going to come out with all this power, and it spiked up here in after hours, and this may just turn into a straight FOMO play. And any is only 19, shown on mine, 19 million in shares. What's the actual float? You know the actual float?
The float is 5.84 million. So this thing does not need a lot of fire behind it. You already know I like low floats.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see.
It has the potential to be the next Btbt runner if the crypto markets continue to run tomorrow. So that's the thing. You got to keep an eye on Bitcoin and Ethereum. But they seem to be pretty hot tonight. And this gap up, this PR came out in after hours. So this has momentum going into pre-market tomorrow. But be cautious, because this is a very dangerous stock. That low of a float, this is going to get dicey if it starts getting big volume. Today it had 4.1 million in volume, and most of it was right here in after hours when it had this rip. Yeah, so that one candle there was 384,000 in volume, and it moved from 340 up to 390. So 50-cent move with only 300,000 in volume. Right now, with cryptos being hot, tomorrow being Friday, we see a lot of pumping going on Fridays. I expect a lot of liquidity to come into crypto stocks, because traders have seen Btbt run now for days. Not everybody was lucky to find it and catch it on the first day when it started ripping. If only somebody would have been out there on the internet somewhere saying, hey, Btbt might start running here. This could run all the way up to 15. But, that doesn't exist out there. So people are going to start catching FOMO on these crypto plays. And if Btbt rips harder, like if it breaks 20, then this will go really nuts. So I expect it probably to start hitting some really strong resistance tomorrow and not break 20. And that's why I think the attention will go from Btbt to Annie, because Annie's cheaper. Btbt's already got way up there higher in price, but this is still under $5 and super low float. It's going to be an interesting Friday. I'm ready. How are you ready?
Oh, yeah. I'm still playing defensive, but I mean, my whole day is probably gonna be around Annie.
Yeah,
It's probably gonna be the only thing I'm watching.
yeah, it's definitely going to be the top of my list. Hopefully, which I never like to say hopefully in the stock market, but just for this purposes only, hopefully it doesn't rip in pre-market before I get up, because I don't want it to get. I don't want to
If it
start
does,
ripping
I'll
early.
make sure I trade it for you.
Yeah, trade it for me, because I ain't getting up that early for that pre-market trades. Well, I think that's it for tonight's episode of The Last Rip. We'll both be back tomorrow on our separate channels doing some live stream trading. If you haven't yet checked out H&H Traders channel, and come join us. Come join either live stream when I'm on time for the streams. We have a little war meeting the first 30 minutes before market opens. Like I said, when I'm on time. But appreciate everybody watching as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.